What is up, YouTube? As you see here, I have 3 light guns, all very different. A Wii Remote, which can be used on the Nintendo Wii, and also the Dolphin Bar on your PC, probably one of the cheapest options out there. You then have a more upgraded light gun, the Aim Track light gun, and there's a few others on the market that are similar, but they all still use an IR sensor, and you have to have a sensor bar on top of whatever display you're using. And if you missed it, I've done lots of videos on different displays out there, especially the Super IR sensor, the Extreme, and then the Standard. And then it brings us to this video here, the Sinden light gun. Cocks, you have 2 buttons here, you have a D-pad, you have 2 extra buttons, trigger, and if you notice in the barrel here, instead of an IR sensor, this actually uses a video camera to track exactly where you're pointing on the screen. So yes, with this gun, you can play Duck Hunt, MAME games, Model 2, Model 3, PlayStation emulation, you name it, a lot of emulators are gonna support this. And the technology is fantastic. Just right off the bat, you don't get the thing jumping back and forth if you miss the IR sensor and you go off screen, you come back on screen. You can still reload off screen. And this is the first gun I feel comfortable in saying that you can shoot this gun with the crosshair off and have an accurate game playing experience. If you've seen a lot of my past videos using other guns, I typically have to have my crosshair on. I miss a lot of headshots. This gun, if you're really into light gun games, is a game changer. Let's check it out. Wow. Oh wow, it even comes with a holster. Oh wow, you can see up the tip. You can see the camera in there. Guys seeing the camera inside? It's basically like a webcam inside of a gun shell, but look, you have, so on the right side you have 2 buttons. I mean, they're nothing special. And then you do have a little D-pad built in, a 4-way directional. And then you have the button here. Oh, you do have this little mechanism. That's cool. Now, whether or not you can bind that, we're gonna find out shortly. And then you have the ridges on the top. I mean, you kind of have a built-in sight here. Whether or not that works or not, we'll see. I mean, you can always configure this thing to get the sight. Lots of length on the cable. I assume this is way over 10 feet, over 10 feet there. And then you can always add a USB extension. And then this looks like some sort of holster that, yeah, I mean, it fits right on there. It holds it pretty well. They have different colors, blue, red, or black. Camera ID is D. Player 2, no. Holster, it does says no, but they came in one. Recoil effect solenoid, I don't think this one has one. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out when we do it. Orange tip, yes. USB adapter, no. Quality control pass, yes. So welcome to the software. When you first boot up, your computer will find it. If you're in Windows 10, it'll say, you know, Sinden light gun setting up, and it'll set it up. You go ahead and download these drivers, the software. You can find it in their website, the Sinden Light Gun website. And the first thing you want to do is make sure it's not on, make sure it's on stop. You know, it shouldn't be on when you first start. Go ahead and head over to select light gun and make sure you have your light gun here. Go ahead and get info and update your firmware. Under configuration here, you could change a lot of these things, whether you want gangster mode on or off, which is an awesome one. You can mess with anti-jitter, you can mess with your bezels. I'm just going to be running this all on default to show you what it looks like stock before we mess with anything else. The other thing you can do is show and hide the border, which we will need to do for this to work properly. And there's actually, on the right side of the gun, the second button will automatically trigger the show border for you by default, which is good. That's what we want. You can also adjust your alignment here, and depending on if you feel like the cursor's too much on the x-axis or on the y-axis. Cursor offset, this is where you want to set your TV size. So I'm on a 27-inch monitor right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep it at 27 there. You can just enter whatever size and then hit calculate. button assignments. So here you go, the pump action, the pumping of the gun, the trigger itself. Then you have your up, down, left, right. You have your 2 buttons on the left and your 2 buttons on the right. So many different configurations to do. And then it also has the off screen, which is what you want it to click if you're not pointed at the monitor, like a reload button, for example, which is really nice to see. You can see I have my border on and off button triggered set right there, which I'd highly recommend you do that, especially if you don't want to use a keyboard in addition to these settings. And you can see there's a shortcut to start and stop the program as well. So let's go ahead and start it. As you can see, it's on. And now I think the camera should be working here. If you go over to camera, oh, you can see it took over my mouse here as well. So now it's operating my mouse, which is the other thing you need to watch out for, is don't point it at your screen while you have this on. And there's my image. Okay, cool. So this is me. This is the raw camera footage here, and then the what it's actually processing. If you notice something, it's kind of rounded, and that's because a lot of old games had the CRT, rounded curvature displays. So this thing is doing so many calculations to get the curvature of the screen correct at the same time. How crazy is that? So let's go ahead and launch the game. The next thing I'm going to do is turn on my borders here to there. I can go ahead and hit tab on my keyboard, go to this game's controls, and this is where I can set my controls. Trigger 1, I'll hit enter, press my button. Foot pedal, I want it as my button here on the side, so I'll hit that, click it, good. Gun X, you just swipe it on the X axis, got it, and then Y axis. Alright, we got gun axis Y, and then our coin, you can go ahead and assign that as well. We go over to crosshair options, turn it off. Because I feel comfortable now doing that. So let's insert tokens. You see how accurate that was? Remember, I have no crosshair on. And let's just say I play kind of regular, kind of slouchy. And remember, I could go like all the way over here. I go to the left of the screen. Go. Gangster mode. Alright, I got it at the end there. I got used to it. See that? Got it. Whew. How'd I do? I beat one. Now this game has a crosshair in it already, but look how well this tracks. Gangster mode. So no crosshair, on again. So as I play this game, let's wrap up the Sinden Lightgun. Amazing game. Not amazing game, but amazing piece of technology here. I see no reason to buy any other light gun unless you're going with the Wii remote and you're going super cheap, or you're doing this like legitimate and you need to buy like, you know, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Wii games, but then you're stuck to whatever games those are. Now, for emulation, this thing is fantastic. Now, stay tuned, stay subscribed, because I'm just playing main games here. There's, you know, a couple handfuls of games to play here. We still gotta play Sega Model 2, Sega Model 3, newer PC games like on Steam. We can play those. I'll show you how to set those up, and as we get better with, you know, setting up the borders and getting everything working properly, we're gonna see some cool stuff out of this. But we gotta save that for another video, so this video is not like 2 hours long. The other thing I want to try on this is putting it on a 75-inch, my big screen TV upstairs, instead of just a monitor over here. So we got a lot to do. So why don't you leave a comment to see what you'd like to see. I'm definitely will make a tutorial for all the different emulators, but is there a particular game or setup you'd like to see? Let me know. With all that said, loving this little thing. It is a work of art. I'd love to try the recoil version as well, but for the time being, really cool stuff.